YouTube, welcome to my channel, I'm Bella, and today I'm going to be reviewing Rise of the Skywalker. Oh God, where do we start with this? This whole trilogy, the J.J. Abrams or whatever his name is trilogy, is just a mess. First one, I'm going to say this for The Force Awakens. I really enjoyed that. It set up new characters, gave them motivation and purpose, and was brilliant. There's only one character that this trilogy has dealt 100% justly with, and that is Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, because they've got to. And his journey was beautiful all the way through. Finn, I don't know what they were doing. In the second movie, they just sidelined him. And in the third movie, it was even worse. They just shoved him out of the way. He might as well have not been there. He could have just given his part to the woman with those riding beasts. Oh, in fact, they did. He just joined them. It was like, I know he was supposed to represent the Force working within ordinary people within the Order, but it didn't come off like that. It just sort of like, oh, I've got something to say to Rey. Oh, but I'm not going to say it. Well, that's great. That's like no character development, whatever. That's like the Joker not telling Harley Quinn that he may or may not have feelings for her. You know, at least we got more progress that way than this. This is just stupid. Rey's story in the third movie, very, very, very solid. Unfortunately, Leia, due to reality and certain tragic events in real life, impacted Leia's story, and it shows. But I mean, oh my goodness, the third film in this trilogy, The Rise of the Skywalker, was just like a nostalgia big trip. It was like, oh, the originals, weren't they great? Look at this. We're going to bring out everything that's to do with them, but not move the plot any forward, and we're going to bring back Palpatine because we can. I'm not doing a spoiler warning. You're just going to have to live with it. It was ridiculous. I think we should just take the whole of this trilogy and put it in the bin. It was so bad. It didn't even have its own plot line. Halfway through this movie, I was like, I really want to watch the prequels. That's how bad it got for me. I was like, at least the prequels, they focused on two characters, Anakin and Padme Amidala, gave them a beginning, gave them a middle, and gave them an end. This was just like, oh, they're setting up characters that I don't even know their names. They're not even telling me what planet we're on. Out of courtesy, you're giving me these wonderful supporting characters and then just leaving them there after 2 scenes with them because we've got to go somewhere else for reasons that I don't even get. It was so poor. Visually, very, very pretty. The one thing that wasn't poor was Kylo Ren, but what I would have liked to have seen, I was like, to have seen Rey offer him a hand and say, come with me and join us. And I think he would have taken it. I liked the fact that we had that nice water lightsaber fight because that counterbalanced really nice the Mustafar fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and I like parallels like that. But Rey, oh my goodness, she's been like, oh, the second movie was just painful. It was like having Harry Potter stand at the Mirror of Erised and not see his family. But at least that's resolved with this movie. But even Palpatine when he was there was grating, but it was so cool to see him, even though he was blind and like this really decayed like monk. It was deliciously delicious, but it was just so jarring. It was like taking a huge dump on everything that has already gone on in the prequels and in the original trilogy. It was just so bad. Story writing wise, ugh, gosh, it's face-palmingly bad. It's almost like, oh, I think we should redeem Palpatine's line, and I'm like, no, we need to move forward and build a new republic and build a new Jedi school. Not keep going round and looping. And I appreciate it did show the reasons why they were looping, because they were children. And the New Order took children and raised them to be basically New Order clones, and the rebellion was stuck with the children of previous fighters, and you do get that. So that's the only thing that the galaxy has known. But this is ridiculous. You didn't have any forward momentum. Poe had great character development, really good, but what they did to Finn was just ridiculous. Some might claim racist reasons. It was just stupid. He's supposed to be a main character. He should have a plot going forward. The only character that did have a plot going forward was Kylo Ren. And as for the other guy, that Hux character who got shot, we didn't know why he was a spy. We didn't even know why he wanted Kylo Ren to fail. My only reason for doing so is the fact that he was jealous of Kylo Ren being the Supreme Leader because he was a Jedi and had Force powers. But he never said that. There was never any. These characters had motivations that we didn't know the reason for. And it was just completely like, oh, we're just going to do this now. And I'm like, why? You've not given me any lead up to this. You can't just do that. Even in like previous films. I mean, admittedly, The Last Jedi, the second film, was iffy with its use of Luke. But at least it gave Luke a nice concluding ending. It really did. This was a mess. An absolute mess. I mean, there's only two redeeming features. One, Kylo Ren had a consistent story throughout. He was conflicted and he never really was a dark Jedi, to be absolutely and truly honest. He wasn't. He just wanted more, which is what Anakin Skywalker wanted. He was like the Anakin Skywalker before the Mustafa fight, basically. And he was stuck at that stage and he couldn't progress any further. Oh, and the second point that I kind of like is the fact that, yes, I mean, we can use Force powers to heal and cough, cough, bring people back to life after recent death, which is something that Anakin always wanted to do. And so it was kind of nice that Ben Solo did that. I'm not saying for who, because that's just too big a spoiler, really. But it's so annoying. You shouldn't do that with characters. You can't write a perceived wrong that somebody feels is a wrong that with the new characters. It doesn't work that way. What you've effectively done is taken a huge dump on the old character and said everything that you fought for is worth nothing, including, and we're going to go this way and look what your children have created. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's very nice that we've redeemed the Palpatine line, but you've sacrificed the Skywalker line to do it. Is this sanity? And having no Skywalker heir is kind of a bit stupid, because I really do feel that Rey should have offered Ben a chance to join the rebellion. And I think that that would have been really, really good. Then you could have built new stories and new developments with Hux as like the Supreme Leader. And that would have had more weight going forward than bringing back somebody who used to serve the Emperor. Sorry, Richard E. Grant. I thought you were really good. Very, very nice acting. That used to serve Palpatine / Darth Sidious. And it was just ridiculous. It really was. It was just like, oh, look, Lando Calrissian's back. And we're going to do this night. And we're going to have this, and we're going to give the Death Star ability to every starship. Oh, aren't we clever? Haven't we advanced? And I'm like, no, you've not. This is not a new story. This is just like a holding pen for killing off George Lucas's wonderful characters from the original for no apparent reason. It was just like a huge nostalgia dump that was neither useful nor constructive. In fact, Rise of the Skywalker probably should have been the first, should have been how the whole of this trilogy should have felt like going forward. The Last Jedi was a curveball, I appreciate that. The Force Awakens was a nice setup. Love BB-8, love the new lamp robot that we got in this one. C-3PO, oh, the mind wiping. But then again, you know, thank God for Darth Vader making C-3PO, otherwise we wouldn't get anything, would we? You just sort of think, oh, that was literally it. The only good thing was that water jewel. The rest, I was just like, what are they doing? Can they not do a succinct plot anymore with A, B, C, D, E? Where's the linear plotting? How is this going to build the next franchise on from it? Do they know what they're doing? Clearly they don't. Perhaps they should have stuck more closely to George Lucas's original plan for for episode 7, 8 and 9. Maybe that would have been better. Maybe that would have led to a more succinct story. Maybe it would have given Finn something to do. Maybe it would have given Rose something to do. Because, I mean, if you feel bad for Finn, who in the second film got shoved out of the way for Rose, well, in this film, Finn got shoved out of the way. They shoved Rose out of the way for perceived grievances because it made everybody angry that they diversified the casting. Oh, the horrors. And then it was just really pathetic. I've never seen such twaddle. Why didn't they have a linear plot? Why didn't they do planning? Planning. We've got these excellent characters. What journey are we going to take them on? You know, what's the next thing that they're going to do? Planning people. Oh yeah, maybe they should have done planning with the Joker as well. I really hope that they can do a sequel of that film, by the way. I think it'd be good. You know, planning. I don't care what the new Suicide Squad film keeps saying, or the new Birds of Prey film say. Of course it's going to follow on from 2016 Suicide Squad. It's got to. Otherwise it's not going to make any sense. That's why she's breaking up with the Joker at the start of the film. Because unfortunately, wherever you have Harley Quinn, your first question is, when you see Harley Quinn or you see the Joker by themselves, your first question is, where's Harley and where's the Joker? That is the first question that anybody thinks of when they see them independently. So you have to know. So the Joker film solves that, saying, well, she's not there yet. This is set in the 1980s. They haven't met yet. Fine. Birds of Prey is solving it. Oh, they're breaking up at the start of the movie. That's why he's not in it. But he is going to be a force throughout the world, throughout that universe. He has to be. He's a big force. He's like Batman. And it's the same in Star Wars. You have the whole Anakin Skywalker thing hovering over the whole of the Star Wars universe. And I get the fact that they got rid of that, because they literally did it when they, during that lightsaber fight, went through his pillar and his old skull and mask fell to the floor. It was almost as if a literal representation, because Star Wars is always about literal. Bad characters lose arms to show the loss of humanity. Anakin Skywalker has been put on this pedestal. We're going to bring him crashing down, and his legacy is going to be trashed. And they did that through that fight, literally, visually. And I was just horrified. I was like, oh, bring back Yoda. But not Baby Yoda. Oh, my mum was just stupid. She was like, oh, about Rise of Skywalker. She's like, is Baby Yoda? And I was like, no, Mum, that's Mandalorian TV series, separate. But luckily she didn't come with me, so I didn't have to answer that question then and there. She just asked me that afterwards. I was like, oh gosh. Yeah, it was awful. Out of 4, I'm going to give it a 3, and that's only for the nostalgia quality. I really enjoyed Rey's character development. I thought that was good, and I did like Ben Solo's development all the way through. Ben Solo as a character has been treated justly, but this one I felt, why are you doing this? You could have had them both together discovering and actually working on the great mystery, which, as Palpatine himself said, if you wish to understand the Force in all its aspects, you must take a more pragmatic view. You have to understand the dark and the light. One of the reasons that, you know, it's like, how can you have a life where nothing has made you angry? That is just stupid. If nothing makes you angry, then you're not living. You're not alive. It's the anger is not bad. It's how you control the anger. Fear is actually useful because fear protects you and it protects the galaxy. Yes, Luke did take it to an extreme when he secluded himself on that island and said, right, I'm not doing anymore. It's just too dangerous, which is quite wise. But it also, for the Jedi and the future of Force sensitive beings, was bad because there was no pattern for them to follow, because you're always going to get Force sensitive beings, and Force sensitive beings need training. They need guidance from other Force sensitive beings who are a little bit more experienced. That's just the way of everything. But oh my goodness, 3 out of 5 people for Rise of the Skywalker. It was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Great nostalgia trip, I'll give it that. But it was terrible. It just dumped on the original trilogy and the prequels. It wasn't a complete story. It was more like, oh, let's get out the scrapbook and have Ben and Ray read the scrapbook together. And you're just like, oh, why? That's my view. Other people might have different views, but I just felt that it was like a trip down nostalgia lane. It didn't give anything new to the story. It didn't advance the universe. It was like putting the universe on a permanent pause whilst we looked back and got other characters in that came in and out, and it didn't make that world better. I mean, yes, we had that ending, and I just felt like when they put in Luke and Leia's lightsabers in that wrapping and then burying them in sand, all I could hear was Anakin literally screaming, "I don't like sand," in my ears. And I was like, oh buddy, I'm so with you on that one. It was just not a great ending. But I suppose they have to end the Skywalker story somewhere, but you've got to be able to carry on. If you buy a property, you should be able to take those characters and move them forward. If you cannot do that, as it's clearly proven that they couldn't, maybe they shouldn't have bought it. Maybe they should have spent more time on this trilogy, giving it a story it deserved, you know, out of respect to Mark Hamill and Carrie. You know, but what do I know? I'm just a person that's watched these movies. But, you know, at least the prequels, every single episode of the prequels had a beginning, middle and an end, and it had a conclusion and advanced the story along. This one didn't even try. It was like, oh, we're in the Star Wars universe. We're just going to get everybody together and see them. Like a whistle-stop tour. It'll be fun. No. You're not even telling me what planet we are nicely. You know, at least George Lucas said Coruscant, Tatooine and the bottom. I am liking the new slug creatures. I really like the fact that we got more slugs and snail aliens. That was good. But that's okay. I mean, it was like those lovely, in The Last Jedi, we got those lovely winter foxes. My mum really liked them. But she's like, but what is their purpose? What are they doing? You know, these things have to be used. I mean, it was nice to see the Ewoks. That is basically my feeling. During the whole thing, I was like, oh, Ewoks, they're cool. Why can't we spend more time with them? At least you'd get like a sensible story from an Ewok. Yeah. 3 out of 5. Rise of the Skywalker, terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Shouldn't have gone backwards, should have moved forwards. If you have to go back, something is not right, and something wasn't right. The Last Jedi, the second film, was a wasted opportunity. Rise of the Skywalker, oh my life. Never seen anything like it. Good performances from Daisy and Adam, who played Rey and Kylo Ren respectively. Really good performances. Everybody else did give a good performance, but I just felt so bad for some of the characters that just didn't have anything to go on. I mean, Finn and his love interest, we never saw who his love interest was. Poe and his love interest, she just got dumped in, and it seemed to be important, but they never took it any further. They should have introduced that romance in the second movie. Character development matters, people. Hey! Oh, 3 out of 5. Anyway, I'm going now. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the Rise of the Skywalker. Give it Rise of the Skywalker. Rise of the Star Wars Nostalgia would be a more appropriate title. Okay, my rant is done. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everybody. Hope 2020 is a much better year, particularly for the Star Wars universe. It's going to need it after this debacle of a trilogy. And we complained about Phantom Menace. I was thinking at least Phantom Menace had a story that you could follow. This was just like somebody getting everything out and going, look, the Death Star. Look, the Millennium Falcon. Ewok. I'm like, yes, and? Are you going to put them together to make a plot? Or are you just showing me stuff I already know what it is? Yeah. Bye, everyone. Rise of the Skywalker, indeed. Bye-bye.